Hello, 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 Astros fans and MLB fans out there. It's Larry the GM, and it is time for another series for our Houston Astros. This time we have the Toronto Blue Jays heading into town, and I just want to know, what do the schedule makers have against your Houston Astros? Man. All right, well, as far as I'm concerned, and when I look at my season predictions, we are starting off the season playing the Astros are the number one team in the American League, barely over the Yankees, and you can argue whether it's the Yankees or the Astros. Probably no argument right now after being swept by the Yankees. And then the third best team in the American League I have is the Toronto Blue Jays. So the Astros are getting two of the three hardest teams, and they're the third. So the schedule couldn't be any harder from an American League standpoint for our Houston Astros. So before we get into any more, I know I wanted to give a couple minutes for folks to get into the room. Hey guys, if you are watching this, if you're watching this on the X/Twitter side, please jump over to YouTube. You'll be able to ask questions on the YouTube side and chat with me. And if you are on the YouTube side already, or when you get to the YouTube side, if you're going there from the Twitter, please come. All right, why is my chat not working? Connection was reset. Well, maybe it'll show up. If I can't chat with you, it'll be because my software's not working, guys. I'm not sure what's happening there. Um, so when you get to YouTube, please like the video. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let's build this up. Let's build some interest into these daily and we series, every series Astros previews. So just so you guys know, these are about to go behind the subscriptions. So you're going to want to subscribe to the Larry the GM website, get a premium membership. You'll be able to get these videos at the beginning of your series. If you don't get if you want the daily updates I'm going to be doing, I'm going to do them for the rest of this series with Toronto, but then they're going to be for the money makers only. So you're going to want to get a money maker subscription on the Larry the GM website, or do the same. You get a premium subscription on the Patreon site, which is any subscription there, and then any paid subscription on the Patreon site, and then you can also get the moneymaker subscriptions on the Patreon site. I do not know what's happening with chat. I'm going to try one more time, and it does not look like it wants to cooperate. So I'm going to fly solo without the chat, and we're just going to take it from there. Sorry, guys. Hide that because it's no longer Easter. Maybe that'll help. Nope, doesn't seem to be helping. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to do that. I'm sorry to not have chat available to you guys, but really we want to make this kind of quick. So let's get to it. I'm already 3 minutes in, and I haven't said a thing really about the series. All right, let's go. The big picture for the series is that as I said, we got two of the best teams in the American League going after each other from a predicted WAR standpoint for the season. The Astros predicted to be the seventh ranked offense, and the Blue Jays predicted to be the third ranked offense. The Blue Jays predicted to be the sixth best pitching, and the Astros predicted to be the seventh best pitching. Put that all together, and the Astros were predicted to be the third best, highest WAR team, and the Blue Jays the sixth. Two very good teams. Astros, my beginning season said that that's a 89.5, right at the 90 win team, and the Blue Jays are an 86 win team. So you already know what kind of series this should be. It should be a very competitive series between the two teams, and let's hope the Astros can do better this time than they did in the first series. So again, two tough teams going at. When you look at the WAR by position, it's really interesting. These two teams combined have all-stars all over the field. Just about every position's got an all-star on one of these two teams, and usually it's one of the two teams. The Blue Jays have an all-star catcher in Kirk, and we hope Diaz is going to be there with them this year at the all-star game. Then Guerrero at first base, all-star. Bray used to be, but he's definitely no longer an all-star. Then we've got Altuve at All-Star at second base. Then you've got Blue Jays having the advantage at short, and you've got again Bregman, an All-Star level player, at third, and you've got Tucker in right field, an All-Star. Springer not, Springer is beloved in Houston, but you can kind of get the feel and for that. And then you got Alvarez as an All-Star at DH, and Turner being serviceable. And the Blue Jays have some really interesting things they're working, probably with some platoons at DH. Pitching is basically even. You can maybe give the edge to the Blue Jays starters and the edge to the Astros relievers, but that's not the way the first few games went for the Astros. So we shall see. So this is a table idea. So what's the current status of these two teams? And maybe of all parts of the written narrative in this article, maybe those two, three paragraphs are going to be the most interesting to you. But the Astros are here at 0-4, and you can see where they rate relative to where they were in the advantages. So I put the WRC plus and the FIP minus stats because those 100 is league average, and then obviously the plus, the Astros being above that, it's good. You can see where the teams were last year, and you see that by WRC plus stats, the Blue Jays are really close to where they were last year. That's a little bit effective because they played in Tampa their first series. So overall, the Blue Jays are hitting from an OPS standpoint, which is probably a statistic familiar with a broader audience. 704 versus the 745. But notice the Astros, almost 100 points less than they were last year. And you can see the WRC plus of 98, below league average, versus the 112, one of the best hitting teams in baseball last year. That just that line for the Astros says a lot. And I actually have some more fascinating stats. I'm not going to get into those. I may include a snippet or two from those. I may actually put a separate video out talking about the Astros and just what's happening with the offense, because it's a little bit smoke and mirrors. Everything is not as bleak as one might appear. Let me say it that way for you guys on the Astro fans related to the offense. Pitching wise, the Astros pitching again significantly worse than it was last year at this point. The Blue Jays worse than they were last year. They had one of the best pitching staffs in baseball last year. So there you go. That's where we're at. Both teams not performing up to where they were last year. A lot of that has to do with the Astros played the Yankees and the Blue Jays played the Tampa Bay Rays. So you play teams that are really good competition. Both the Astros and Blue Jays are starting off with some challenging series out of the box. Blue Jays coming in 2-2, and the Astros reeling at 0-4. So, and the thing that's frustrating for the Astros is that the bullpen that been hyped. We have one of the best bullpens in baseball, has a 3.89 ERA. And it's not on the starters. That pitching those pitching numbers are not really on the starters. Although the starters haven't gone long, it's really on the bullpen. And we as Astro fans, we've all felt that. All right, so both teams are coming into this series, and they want to change the narrative about their season. They want to improve the narrative, maybe in the Blue Jays case. They want to get some momentum going, positivity. So let's look again and maybe a little deeper dive, and then we'll use the Larry GM scoring system here, the old familiar A, B, C, D, F, A, B, C, D, F scale, and you see where the two teams are, and you can see how these two teams are some of the best hitting teams in baseball. The Astros projected to be a 117 WRC plus team this year, and the Blue Jays projected to be 108. Really good, deep offenses, 5-6 deep as far as B level players, and then obviously in the bottom lineup to have a couple holes or a couple lesser offensive players, but for the Astros having 90 WRC plus players in the bottom lineup is not a bad thing compared to the history where we've been. So you can see the two teams, how they match up from an offensive standpoint. Let's look at them from a pitching standpoint. You can see the pitching staffs here, and the Blue Jays maybe with the addition of Kevin Gausman on Blue Jays. A pretty balanced staff. He's in the number 4 hold just because I think he came late, but looks like a pretty good pitching staff. Now the Astros decimated by injuries. The Blue Jays have some injuries in the bullpen primarily that are key contributors. The bullpen for the Astros should be strong, but I'll say this about the Blue Jays bullpen is that they're probably 6 deep of pitchers they're not afraid to use. Even their Nate Pearson, and Genesis Cabrera, they don't score great. They don't have great projections, but those are not pitchers. Those are pitchers they're obviously not afraid to utilize. So there you go. That's the pitching matchup. Again, really good staff. The Blue Jays, the 6th best staff, and the Astros supposedly are projected to be the 7th best staff. We need the Astros to pitch to that, and the Blue Jays fans probably say ditto for us as well. So the next section is that I'm not going to go through all these in detail. This is provided for you the best way to utilize this. And what I'd like to do tonight is we're going to go through what I'm going to do is I'm going to come on live during the game. Breaking news, Larry the GM live during the game. I will call up these tables and I will show you as we go how these tables can get utilized during a game, how it affects what the manager's seeing. I will actually use these tables, and I'll also use the moneymaker matchup table that I build, and you will see how the data here impacts, like, number one, what pitch selection is being used, and what batter pitcher combinations are being used. And you guys, this data here I'm providing the batters for left-handed, Astros batters versus right-handers, the pitchers versus left-handers, and then the pitchers versus right-handers, and then the same data for the Blue Jays. And when you have this data at your fingertips, number one, you're going to say, okay, I can see why we would pinch it for John Singleton versus this right-handed pitcher. It'll become more clear. All right, guys. So that's where we're gonna go. Let me know. Well, I guess you can't let me know because the chat's not working. But there you go. That's the season preview, series preview. Really, 2 good teams going after each other, and we shall see how it plays out for the Astros. I guess. Let me pull down here because what we got for the Astros and the Blue Jays tonight, we got Bowden Francis in his major league starting pitching debut. He hasn't started a game before. He had about 30 innings in relief last year, and he did really well. And that's going to play out when we get to the Moneymaker table later. When the lineups come out, I will do a Moneymaker video. So just look for that, maybe in an hour or two. And when you got Ronel Blanco, Astros fans are familiar with him. Been looking really good in the spring. So it's going to be an interesting matchup of the two number 5 guys for these teams tonight. Then we got the 2 aces, Framber Valdez and versus Jose Barrios. And then we got Christian Javier versus Chris Bassett. You can see their stats, their grades, and the challenge, and you can find the details of those 2 down here in the table. See what they throw well. See how the xWOBA data indicates their strengths, and you can get a comparison of the xWOBA and the WOBA data from last year and see maybe if those pitchers were lucky or suffer from a lack of luck. And same thing with the batters. So, guys, that's what I'll leave you with, and we will be talking to you soon once and I showed you how this data comes together in those tables, and we will talk to you soon when the lineups are out. But there is the Astros versus the Blue Jays series. Talk to you later. Take care. Bye-bye.